Okay, guys, we're on Ready Freddy the Penguin Problem. We're in the middle of chapter 6. I'll add it to the list, said Mrs. Whooshy. I have an idea, said Jessie. We can sell popsicles at snack time. We can call it Popsicles for the Penguins. Mrs. Whooshy wrote popsicle sale on the chart. A few other kids made suggestions. The usual, bake sale, bottle drive, car wash. Then I raised my hand. Yes, Freddie, said Mrs. Whooshy. Do you have an idea? I sure do. A penny drive, I said. We can call it Pennies for Penguins. Another great idea, said Mrs. Whooshy, adding it to the chart. Good one, Jessie whispered. I think we are just about ready to vote unless anyone else has something to add. None of the other kids raised their hands. Okay then, said Mrs. Whooshy. I want this to be a fair vote, so I'm asking you to close your eyes. Raise your hand when you hear me read your choice. Please remember that you can only vote once, so make sure you know exactly which one you're going to choose. Mrs. Whooshy read all the suggestions one more time so we would know which one we wanted to vote for. I think we are ready now, so everyone please close your eyes. But Max is peeking, Chloe whined. The only way you know that Max was peeking is if you also had your eyes open, said Mrs. Whooshy. So the two of you both need to keep your eyes closed or else you will not be allowed to vote. Understand? They both nodded. I will say it one more time. Everyone, please close your eyes. We all closed our eyes, and Mrs. Whooshy read each idea for us to vote on. When she got to the end of the list, she paused a minute and then said, You can all open your eyes now. My heart was beating fast. I hope my idea wins, I whispered to Jessie. Well, it looks like we have a tie, said Mrs. Whooshy. We will have to have another vote. I just know my idea is part of the tie, Chloe boasted. Actually, it's not, said Mrs. Whooshy. There's a surprise, Jessie whispered. The tie is between Freddie and Robbie. We both looked at each other and giggled. I can't believe it, I said. Me either, said Robbie. We are going to vote one more time, said Mrs. Whooshy. Your choice is a penny drive or the jelly bean guessing jar. Everyone ready? Okay, close your eyes. Good luck, I whispered to Robbie. Yeah, good luck, he whispered back. We voted again and Mrs. Whooshy said, You all can open your eyes now. We have a winner. Now my heart was beating so fast I thought it was going to pop out of my chest. I looked at Robbie. Robbie looked at me. The winning idea is the penny drive. Congratulations, Freddie. That was a great idea you brought in. So now everybody needs to go home tonight, find some pennies, and bring them in. Chapter 7, Penny Problems. When I got home from school, I went running into the kitchen. Mom, guess what? I yelled as I jumped up and down. Guess what? Susie was there having her snack. Calm down, you look like a monkey jumping around like that. What, Freddie? Said my mom. What are you so excited about? The class picked my idea. That's wonderful, honey, but I have no idea what you're talking about. The class picked my idea for raising money for the penguin adoption. I knew they would like the idea of collecting bottles and cans. No, not that, I said. A penny drive. A penny drive? That's a great idea, said my mom. Yes, it is, Susie said, smiling. Well, the class really liked my idea and Robbie's idea. When we took a vote, it was a tie. So we took another vote, and my idea won. Well, that's great, Freddie. I'm so happy for you. Thanks, Mom, I said. Susie just gave me a look. So, Freddie, said my mom, are you hungry? Do you want a snack? No, thanks. I'm going to find my penny jar. Mrs. Whooshy said that we need to bring in 2,000 pennies if we want to raise $20. That sure is a lot of pennies, said my mom. I know it, but since there are 20 kids in our class, if everyone brings in 100 pennies, then we will have enough. Are you sure you don't want even a little something to eat? My mom asked. No thanks, I called over my shoulder as I ran out of the kitchen and up the stairs. I've got to find those pennies. I ran into my room and yanked open the bottom drawer of my desk. To my surprise, my penny jar wasn't there. I sat down on the edge of my bed and hit my forehead with the palm of my hand. Think. Now, where could that be? I thought for sure I'd put it in my desk drawer. I ran over to my closet and threw open the door. My baseball bat tumbled onto my bedroom floor and a basketball rolled halfway across the room. As I stepped partway inside, I tripped on my shark head flashlight. I always shove things into my closet because my mom is a neat freak and she gets upset if my room isn't clean. I just have to hope that she doesn't ever open that door. I picked up the flashlight, turned it on, and shined it through the dark inside of the closet. That penny jar has got to be in here somewhere, I mumbled. Hi, Domino. I lifted my suitcase. Not there. I shoved aside a blow-up shark I had won at the carnival. Not there. I checked behind my box of Commander Upchuck action figures. Not there. I put the flashlight down and started tossing things out of my closet. It's got to be here somewhere, I said to myself. Eventually, everything that had been in my closet was all over my bedroom floor, and I still hadn't found the penny jar. I was starting to panic. I just had to find those pennies. Oh, I know, I said to myself. I must have hidden it in my underwear drawer. I put things in there when I don't want Susie to find them. She thinks my underwear is gross, so she never opens that drawer. I made my way through the maze of toys that was now all over my floor, and I pulled open my underwear drawer. I was tossing my underwear out of the drawer when Susie walked into the room. A pair of underwear hit her in the face. Ew! Ew! She screamed. That is disgusting! You just threw a pair of underwear in my face. Maybe that will teach you to not walk into my room without knocking first, I said. What are you doing in here anyway? Mama's going to freak out when she sees this mess. I'm trying to find my penny jar. You must have taken it because I can't find it anywhere. Taken it? Why would I take it? Because you always take my stuff without asking. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, yes, you do. Just then, my mom came up the stairs. What is going on in... She stopped in the middle of her sentence when she got to the door of my room. Freddie, look at this mess. What are you doing? I think you should just punish him, Mom, said Susie. Look what he did to his room. I glared at Susie. Susie, you need to stay out of this, said my mom. I'm talking to Freddie right now. I'm going to ask you again, Freddie. What are you doing? I sniffled a little bit and then I started to cry. I'm sorry, Mom. I was just trying to find my penny jar. I had to bring in 100 pennies tomorrow. I know I have 100 pennies in my penny jar, but I can't find it, I sobbed. Calm down, Freddie, said my mom. It's not the end of the world. If we can't find the jar, you can always just bring in $1. $1 is worth 100 pennies. No, I can't, I cried. It's not called dollars for penguins. It's called pennies for penguins. Now we won't be able to adopt the penguin, and it will be all my fault. All right, said my mom. We'll find your penny jar. Don't worry. Thanks, Mom, I sniffled. Now let's think. Where do you remember seeing it last? I thought it was in my desk drawer, but it wasn't there. So I looked in my closet, and it wasn't there either. I can see that, said my mom, looking around at the mess in my room. The last place I looked was in my underwear drawer, but it wasn't there either. It is a mystery. Just then, Susie bolted out of the room. Susie, where are you going? Yelled my mom. I'll be back in a minute, she called as she ran down the stairs. We heard the back door open. 2 minutes later, Susie was back in my room, holding my penny jar in her hands and smiling. Where did you find it? Where did you find it? I said, jumping up and down excitedly. In the treehouse. In the treehouse? I said. How'd it get there? You and Robbie must have taken it out to the treehouse the last time he was over, said Susie. I remembered seeing it when Kimberly and I went up there to play after school yesterday. Thank you, I said, giving Susie a big hug. You are a great detective, Susie, said my mom. Thanks for solving the mystery. Susie smiled. Now let's get out of here so your brother can clean up this mess. Chapter 8, Pennies for Penguins. I ran into school the next day with my jar full of pennies. I couldn't wait to see if the class had collected enough. Do you have your pennies? Robbie asked. Yep, right here, I said, holding up the jar. I meant to remind you that we had taken them up to your treehouse the last time I was over at your house. Yeah, thanks a lot, I said. I tore my room apart yesterday looking for them. It looked like a tornado hit my room. Your mom must have loved that, Robbie chuckled. It took me over an hour just to get everything put away. Well, I'm just glad you found the jar. Actually, Susie found it. You owe her one, said Robbie. I know, but you don't need to remind her, I said, laughing. Okay, everyone, said Mrs. Whooshy. Bring your pennies over to the rug. We need to start counting. We all carried our pennies to the rug. My pennies are all shiny and new, Chloe bragged. So what? Said Max. So they look really pretty. That doesn't matter, said Max. "The pennies don't have to be pretty." "That's right," said Mrs. Whooshy, "but we do need to count them to make sure we have 2,000. "That's a lot of counting," said Jessie. "Yes, it is, but if we cooperate and work together, then it will be easy to count them all," said Mrs. Whooshy. "I know you can do it." We nodded. "This is what you're going to do," said Mrs. Whooshy. "You're going to count your pennies out into piles of 10. Does anyone remember how many groups of 10 make 100? 10, we yelled out. "You are all so smart," said Mrs. Whooshy, smiling. "That's right. 10 groups of 10 make 100. You can start counting now." We all dumped our pennies out onto the floor and started stacking them up into piles of 10. "I'm done counting," shouted Chloe. "I'm the first one done." "Whoop-de-doo for you," Jessie whispered to me. I giggled. "No, you're not," shouted Max. "I was the first one done." "No, I was," yelled Chloe. "No way, fancy pants," said Max. "You two need to stop fighting," said Mrs. Whooshy. "Remember, we are working together as a class. It doesn't matter who was done first." Mrs. Whooshy glanced around the room. "It looks like everyone is done now." We all nodded. "Great. Does everyone have 100 pennies?" Just then, a boy named Ryan started to cry. "What's wrong, Ryan?" asked Mrs. Whooshy. "Why are you crying?" I know I had 100 pennies in my bag this morning, but now I only have 98. "Great, just great," said Max. "Now we don't have enough money." Ryan started crying even louder. Wah! "Don't worry, Ryan," I said, standing up and walking over to him. "I brought some extra pennies just in case." I reached deep down into my pocket and pulled out 2 pennies. "Here you go," I said, handing them to him. "Thank you, Freddie," he said, sniffling. "Yes, thank you, Freddie," said Mrs. Whooshy. "What a nice friend you are." I smiled. "Now let's check again," said Mrs. Whooshy. "Does everyone have 100 pennies?" I do, we all said. "Great," said Mrs. Whooshy. "If we have 20 kids in our class and they each have 100 pennies, then we have 2,000 pennies in total. That makes $20, enough to adopt a penguin." "Hooray!" we all cheered. "Hooray!" "I will collect all of our money and send it off to the Animal Defenders Organization today," said Mrs. Whooshy. "In a few weeks, they will send us a special certificate and a picture of our new baby." "I can't wait," said Jessie. "It's going to be so cute." "I am so proud of all of you," said Mrs. Whooshy. "Thank you for caring about our planet and the animals we share it with." Robbie, Jessie, and I started waddling around the room. "What are you weirdos doing?" said Max. "It's a penguin party," Jessie said. "Come on." Soon everyone else joined in, waddling and giggling and laughing, even Max. Alrighty, that's the end of the book. I hope you liked it. If you want to take a test on it, here's the number 134901. Have a great day.